Hey guys, this is MW2 Black Ops. Now welcome to my new series idea. Basically I'm going to go through Flight Simulator and how to fly certain different aircrafts. Now obviously, as you can see on your screen today, we are in the PMDG 737 and you know, this aircraft has been around for quite a while. But you know, as of yet I have not found, you know, a tutorial for beginners to fly this aircraft, which is quite disappointing since you know how popular the aircraft is. But basically I'm going to go through today and I'm going to show you exactly how you fly this absolute wildebeest. So first of all, you can hear the sound pack from Ryanair Virtual Airlines, which I have got loaded up in the background. So first of all, you want to go to, no you don't actually, you want to go to your place over here and you want to put this parking brake on, which we have now done that nicely. Then you want to skip over to your overhead panel. Much like a car, you need ignition power or battery power for the aircraft to come alive. Now, as you can see, there is now illuminated lights, nice and easy so far, and we've now got a bit of life in the cockpit. So you want to skip over now to the FMC. Now I'm following Ryanair's procedures, so we need ground power, so we're going to go, I'm just going to do that a little bit, so you go into FS Actions, Ground Connections and Ground Power, set that to connected, but that's not that just there, you still need to do one extra thing here. So you want to skip back over to your overhead panel and you'll see this illuminated light over here if you have ground power available. You want to go ahead and click that, and now you can hear this ambient noise that's surrounding the cockpit, and now we have ground power. So first of all, then you go over to the aft overhead panel, right click these little alignment switches to align, give it 4 seconds and it will switch to the alignment mode. But that is not you completely aligned to IRS, you've still got to do a little bit more in the flight computers, but I will get around to that. Okay, now I put my recirculation fans on. We don't really need to touch the rest of that. Our cruising altitude today is 36,000 feet, so I'll set that here, and I don't really know the landing altitude, but we'll get that before we take off. Okay, window heat is on. Don't need to bother with anti-ice, it is above 4 degrees, so we can leave them off. Hydraulic pumps, they're fine for now. Emergency exit lights, put them on. Seatbelt signs on. Here, set the ground power to the ground power setting. You don't really need to use that in the simulator, as you really know there's not going to be any electrical faults unless you have programmed them. Okay, and the yaw damper is on. And so far guys, for the overhead panel, that is absolutely fine. So what I've done basically here is I've put the galley power on, correction, ground power. I've aligned the IRSs, I've set the air conditioning panel, pressurization panel, window heat, emergency exit lights, passenger signs, and yaw damper, and that's pretty much what I've done for there, and that's all you really need to do just now. But you still might be looking at these displays and you're like, well, how do I get them to the standard what they normally look like when it's you know, your artificial horizon and all that. I'm going to show you right now. So you're going to go into, before you do anything actually, going to go into fuel, and 6,500 we are carrying, but I do need to set my easy dock camera, so just hold on a minute guys. And that should do it. Okay, 167 passengers aboard today. There we go. And so what you want to do, go to FMC, position initialization. Basically you need to tell the aircraft where it is. It's kind of like a sat-nav, where you put in information of where you are. It's pretty much the exact same principle as that. And if you've got instant IRS alignment on, the display should look like that now, and that's all there is to setting the IRS. You can put in the information just to check. We're at Bremen today, so it's EDDW for Echo Delta Delta Whiskey, and it should be around about the same. Yeah, it's, you know, it's close, so at least we know we're in the right position. Okay, now to route. I do have a company route set up, so Echo Delta Delta Whiskey to Echo India Delta Whiskey. So we're going from Bremen to Dublin today. And there we go, the route pops up, and we're Ryanair 2883 today. So go ahead and put that. I have not got the weather conditions so far. I will need to get them checked out before I depart, of course. But and that's where we'll put in the runway information. So I'm just going to go ahead and check that just now. Just give me a moment. But you know, basically, guys, it's not as difficult, you know, as it looks. You know, you sit in the cold and dark cockpit of the NGX, and you're like, well, you don't really know where to start. When I first started flying the NGX, that's exactly, you know, what I thought. And you know, after flying it for a couple of years, you know, I am no expert. I don't have a typewriting in this aircraft, of course. I'm only 15 years old, but you know what? You get your head around it. You know, it's not as difficult as it might seem, which is good.
You're amazing. Boarding complete.
Let me just look at the winds here. 210 at 15 knots. So going to departure. Going to be off 23 today. And there is no standard instrument departure for today, I don't think. Unless 27 is the active, which I believe it is. Alright, it's going to be 27 today. Okay, we're on the Echo Lima 7 Whiskey departure of runway 27. Not a problem. Just check BAGSO. So, and that'll be the BAGSO 3 Romeo, runway 28. Just quickly check here again. Rockna. And there is the route all set up and now. So that's what I've done in the FMC so far. So basically, if you've not set up a company route, which I have, you can set up a company route by going on SimBrief, which I will put a link in the description for. And basically what that is, it's a flight planning software that you use that will you know, give you weather, charts, you know, fuel data, all that sort of stuff. And basically, for this company route that I've done, you put it into the flight plan CFG file in the NGX, and it will drop in. I'll do another tutorial on that another day. But if you want to go and do the route manually, what you would do, I'm just going to show you just now, just so I've covered everything, is you'd go into, no, you wouldn't, you'd go into route, hit next page, then you'd get boxes. So you'd get boxes here, and you would get your route of whatever website you got your route off for your flight. For example, Yale, Super, Altbed, Pennell, BAGSO, you know, you get what I mean. And you'll get a route like that, and you just manually insert it in. Airways go this way, and the waypoints go this way. So, for example, if it said on your sheet Super to UL60, you would put Super on the right side, then you'd follow it by Uniform Lima 60 on the other. So that's your airways, and that's basically how it goes. That's how the aircraft fly. It doesn't just fly, you know, as the crow flies. You know, it does fly through a series of waypoints. And if you guys are wondering, you know, this is a basic tutorial. So the standard instrument departure, that is known as the SID commonly throughout the aviation world, and that's basically a designated path that the aircraft follows to the waypoint as it leaves the aircraft. It's mainly for traffic handling and all that stuff. But that's basically that so far. So if I just look at that, it all looks good. But I am going to quickly check it. You do this by going up to the EFIS, right-clicking it to plan. I'm going to zoom out ever so slightly. And I'm going to just check this route.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the main aircraft door is now being closed, we kindly ask you to place all electrical elements set in flight
the
mode.
jetways and all that stuff going away.
If your device does not have an in-flight mode, please switch
So
the
I'm just
device
looking
off
through
the
this,
duration of the flight.
clicking
Thank you.
on the FMC's side buttons. They do have a name, but I don't recall what they are. And there we go. The route is absolutely grand. Now what we've got to do, hit initial reference, and you double click 0 fuel weight. Under reserves, we have 1.1. You do get all this data. It's not just randomly selected. You know, you do get data for it. You know, I get it on SimBrief, but you can get it on. If you type in pretty much PMDG 737 fuel planner, you know that'll be good enough. Cost index. That's how efficiently the aircraft flies. I'm pretty sure British Airways have a cost index of 60. Ryanair have a cost index of 6. And that's just basically how it goes. It's just how efficiently the aircraft flies, how high and how low a speed, etc. That's just basically what it is. Okay, fuel plan 4.4 according to my calculations, and our cruising altitude is flight level 360. And I'll check the transition. I believe it's 6,000. We don't have one, so I'm going to set it to the standard 6,000. 26k D rate, that's fine. Flaps are going to be set 5, trim 5.22 units. Just get that set in just now. There we go. Sometimes you don't get it exactly on, but if you're 1 or 2 points away from it, it really shouldn't matter. There we go. And V1 136, rotate 138, V2 148. We've got insufficient fuel. But that is fine, we don't need to worry about that just now as we're on the ground. Okay, V2 is 148 knots. This is how you set your MCP, 148. Get that set in. Runway heading 270. Transition 6,000. Auto brake RTO. That means rejected takeoff. So basically, if you've got, you know, thrust set and you're going down the runway and you encounter a problem, you retard the throttles, auto braking will kick in and it will manage to stop the aircraft in time. It uses max auto brakes. It can sometimes burst your tyres, but you know, I think you'd rather your tyres getting burst than going off the end of the runway. Other than that, don't need to do anything. Just set the transition for descent, which is 6,000 at Ireland. Wind data, it was 270 at 15. Never mind. I know it's set to 1, but we don't need to worry about that. Right, okay. As for that, we are pretty much done, so we need to do the preliminary pre-flight checklist, which I'm going to do now. Now I'm going to take you through these checklists. They are pretty simple. They've made them a lot more simple than what they used to be. They used to be pages and pages, but now they're just simple, you know, steps that you've got to follow, going through the main setup of the aircraft, pretty much. Okay, so the first thing on our checklist today is the oxygen. So you're going to go down here, click this little red button, click 5 seconds, 1 second. Oxygen is 100% as expected. Okay, navigation, transfer and display switches are normal and auto. Window heat is on. Pressurization mode selector is auto. Flight instruments, heading 044, QNH is 1013 hectopascal. Park and brake is set, and fuel levers are cut off. Now, because we are running slightly behind schedule, we're going to go straight to the before start. So flight deck door, Go to here. Closed and locked. Fuel. We have 6,500 kilos. Pumps on. Passenger signs are on. MCP is set, as we can see here. Takeoff speeds are V1 has 136 knots, rotate 138, V2 148. CDU pre-flight is completed. CDU meaning control display unit, which is this thing right here. Okay. Rudder and aileron trim. You can see it's 3 and 0. Taxi and takeoff briefing. Okay, we're going to taxi to runway 27 on the Echo Limo departure assigned by air traffic control. The use of anti-ice is not prohibited, and it's going to be a flaps 5 departure. Our rotation speed is 138 knots. In the event for any cause for concern on departure, below 80 knots we will immediately abort the takeoff. After 80 knots we'll only abort for engine fire or failure. In the event that the aircraft leaves the ground with an emergency, it will be treated as a full airborne emergency. As the first officer, I will handle checklists and ATC communications while you fly the aircraft. We'll do a 3000 right downwind circuit onto ILS 27. And we'll do a flaps 15 landing on that. Do you have any questions? At this point, the captain or the first officer would say yes or no. Then after that, we go ahead to the overhead panel, and the last thing in the before start checklist is put the anti-collision on. Now we need to start the auxiliary power unit, which I've gone ahead and done. So this button right here, and you're going to want to watch this exhaust gas temperature gauge of the APU. Now it's going to rise, and it will probably balance at around about 4, and that's when a light will illuminate saying that we are ready to start the APU. So if we just look at this dial right here, so I'm not too sure if you can see where the mouse is, but I am pointing the mouse to the exhaust gas temperature gauge. As you can see, it's rising. It's just above the runway turn-off lights, which are beside the APU button, to the left of the APU button. As you can see, it's rising, and it's slowly decreasing. Right, perfect. And it should stabilise at around about 4. There we go. And that's the APU in power. Now for now, we don't need to do anything else. We are ready to start the engines. Just want to get rid of all that. Set this page to the takeoff page. And now, pushback. We're just going to do a manual pushback today, as it's a bit of an awkward turn. But basically guys, that is all I need to say. We are all ready for departure. The aircraft is fully ready for engine start, and that's so you get up from a cold and dark state to the state where you're pretty much ready for flight. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. If you don't and you like the video, just leave a nice like rating, that would look very nice. And as always, if you would like more videos, please subscribe to this channel. In the meantime, from myself, MW Tour Black Ops, or Adam Wallace, I do thank you for tuning in, and I hope you learned something today. In the meantime guys, have a fantastic day. Thank you.